Assalamu alaikum viewers. Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Welcome to the Code Dex lecture series from Zafar Stew. Today we will going to talk about object-oriented programming language, and in object-oriented programming, we will see how to code in Java. So here you see on my screen that object-oriented programming OOP is a way to organize and conceptualize a program as a set of interacting objects. That's mean in our programming we interact with some objects. इस ऑब्जेक्ट को सुनकर आपके जहन में एक बात आई होगी विच इज अ सिंपल ऑब्जेक्ट जो आपके इर्द गिर्द रखे हुए होते हैं एंड दैट कंटेन some what we can say that contains some thing in it that have some functionalities, that have some behaviors which we so-called attributes and behaviors as well. So before directly jumping on the code, let's take an example of the bank and let's identify the attributes and behavior. So for an instance, this is a Java class, and you see in bank account, we have a number of the accounts, and we have a balance as well. And with these two things, we have these two basic functions, which is deposit and withdraw as well. So in this way, object oriented basically defined together. And when we are talking about interacting with objects, so object is a collection of attributes and behaviors that operate on them. For example, in this bank class, we have these two attributes, and attributes are basically the variables as well. And we have a methods, we have a functions as well, which is deposit and withdraw in this class. Let's take an example of a simple object oriented code. So every class have contain some main function, which you see is a void main. So a program contain a main class, and a main class contain one function as well. So this is a simple syntax with an opening braces and with an closed braces as well. Let's see that if we write public before the class, so it basically accessible to all other classes as well. We have two access modifier, private and public, which we will see in our next slides as well. So this is the difference when we change the accessibility, the access modifiers, public or private as well. One more thing you observe here, that we have a class which have a capital M, and in a method it is from a small m. So what is this basically? This is basically the naming convention. In the methods we use a camel naming convention, and in the classes we use a Pascal naming convention. For example, in the Pascal the first word is capital, and in the method the first word is small. In the same way you see here, this is basically the class, and this is basically the method. So for the method we use camel naming conventions, and for the classes we use Pascal naming convention. Let's see a simple Java code, public class welcome, And in the public class welcome, you see, as I talked with you, that every Java program have a main function. So this is basically the SS modifier. This is the static, which we will talk about in our later series. For this is just a static function. And void, which returns no value. And in the main function, we have basically the argument where we pass some arguments, some parameter from this main functions. We also use, if we want to print welcome to Java message, so system.out.println function. Println is basically a method which prints a line on any Java program.